One of Hollywood's greatest classics, Casablanca famously began production without a completed script. The screenplay, adapted from an unproduced stage play titled Everybody Comes to Rick's, underwent constant revisions during filming. Writers Julius J. Epstein, Philip G. Epstein, and Howard Koch were still crafting dialogue and reworking scenes even as they were being shot. The lack of a finished script led to an unpredictable production process, but also gave the film an improvisational quality that contributed to its charm. For example, the uncertainty surrounding the ending, whether Ilsa, Ingrid Bergman, would leave with Rick, Humphrey Bogart, or Victor Laszlo, Paul Henreid, kept the actors on edge, which lent a palpable tension to their performances. Michael Curtiz, the director, relied heavily on the actors' instincts, encouraging them to adapt to changes in dialogue and direction on the fly. This spontaneous approach might have been chaotic, but it resulted in one of the most enduring romances in cinematic history. Iconic lines like, "Here's looking at you, kid," and "We'll always have Paris" emerged during this fluid process and became ingrained in film history. Furthermore, Casablanca's improvisational elements extended beyond dialogue. Bergman famously claimed she didn't know whether her character was truly in love with Rick or Laszlo while filming, a genuine confusion that subtly informed her performance. This unpredictability added emotional complexity, elevating the film from a simple wartime romance to a timeless classic. The Blair Witch Project redefined independent filmmaking in the horror genre, largely due to its unconventional production method. The film was shot without a traditional script. Instead, directors Daniel Myrick and Eduardo Sanchez provided the actors with only an outline of key plot points and general character arcs. The cast, Heather Donahue, Michael C. Williams, and Joshua Leonard, improvised their dialogue and reactions, which gave the film its naturalistic, documentary-like feel. The filmmakers intentionally kept the actors in the dark about certain events to heighten their fear and disorientation. For example, many of the terrifying nighttime sequences were unscripted, with the crew surprising the actors with unexpected noises, eerie props, or bizarre rituals left outside their tents. This lack of a predetermined script created an atmosphere of genuine anxiety, with the actors' real emotions mirroring those of their characters. The filmmakers also used guerrilla filmmaking techniques, such as restricting food and sleep for the cast, to push them to their psychological limits. The result was a film that blurred the line between fiction and reality, making audiences question whether what they were watching was real. This innovative approach not only saved on production costs, but also made the Blair Witch Project a cultural phenomenon. Its minimalistic style and improvisational execution inspired a new wave of found-footage horror films that continues to influence the genre today. Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now is as renowned for its chaotic production as it is for its brilliance as a war film. Based on Joseph Conrad's novella Heart of Darkness, the movie started with a script by John Milius, but Coppola discarded much of it during shooting, opting to let the story evolve organically. The production spiraled into an infamous nightmare, with typhoons, budget overruns, and health crises derailing the schedule. Coppola himself admitted to rewriting scenes daily, and much of the dialogue was improvised by the cast. Marlon Brando, playing Colonel Kurtz, arrived on set overweight and unprepared, forcing Coppola to improvise Kurtz's cryptic monologues based on loose discussions rather than scripted lines. This lack of a solid script added to the film's surreal and disorienting atmosphere, perfectly mirroring the chaos and moral ambiguity of the Vietnam War. The actors, including Martin Sheen, were similarly pushed to their limits, often performing under extreme physical and emotional duress. Despite its turbulent production, the improvisational approach resulted in some of the most iconic moments in cinema history. Brando's haunting delivery of the horror, and the surreal journey through the jungle became defining elements of the film, illustrating how spontaneity and chaos can lead to artistic greatness. While technically a television series, Curb Your Enthusiasm deserves a place on this list for its groundbreaking approach to unscripted comedy. Created by Larry David, the show operates without traditional scripts, relying instead on detailed scene outlines. The actors improvise their dialogue, building off the scenarios and their characters' personalities. This method allows for spontaneous, authentic humor that feels natural rather than rehearsed. Larry David, playing a fictionalized version of himself, encourages his cast to explore their characters' reactions to increasingly absurd situations, resulting in hilariously awkward moments. For example, entire storylines, such as Larry's conflicts over social etiquette or his misinterpretations of others' intentions, are built on spur-of-the-moment decisions by the cast. The improvisational approach also allows the show to adapt to its actors' strengths, with many scenes shaped by the unique comedic styles of the ensemble cast. This flexibility has made Curb Your Enthusiasm a critical and commercial success, praised for its innovation and relatability. The lack of a rigid script has become a defining feature of the series, demonstrating that abandoning traditional scripting can lead to creative freedom and unexpected brilliance. The first installment of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise faced significant script issues during production. While the basic plot was outlined, the screenplay underwent constant rewrites, often leaving the actors with little idea of what would happen next. Johnny Depp, in particular, leaned into the chaos, using the lack of structure to craft his now iconic portrayal of Captain Jack Sparrow. His improvisational approach added layers of eccentricity and unpredictability to the character, transforming what could have been a standard swashbuckling hero into a cultural phenomenon. Director Gore Verbinski and the cast embraced the fluid nature of the production, allowing for spontaneous moments that enriched the film. For instance, many of Sparrow's quirks and mannerisms were invented on the spot, contributing to the character's unpredictability and charm. The absence of a finalized script forced everyone involved to think on their feet, resulting in a dynamic energy that resonated with audiences. This improvisational spirit not only elevated the film but also launched a billion-dollar franchise that continues to captivate fans worldwide.